Hey guys, it's Melanie Hinds. It's your fastest Iraqi Dinar summary on the net. How are you? Listen, our guys are safely back at the base, which I'm so excited because they came back from Yemen. And I'm going to be going live tonight. I said 5, it'll probably be more like 5:30 because one of my husband's things was canceled. So I will see you live at 5:30 p.m. I will put the link up as soon as I'm done with this intel summary. So one of the greatest things, other than our guys are safe, which was my prayer, was that Iraq approves a Siemens contract. That's what they said. They said they put through legislation to approve it, and they approved it. But when you looked in the depths of it, which I did on my live stream, and I have all the timestamps up, thank you to Sabrina, it wasn't a contract. They signed an agreement. There's a big difference. I went through the difference between MOUs, agreements, and contracts. Contracts means they don't have a rate in it. If contract means it does have a rate, but an agreement means they just stipulating what the parties have agreed to without the rate. So all these things, if they say agreements or MOUs, there's no contract rate in it because they're waiting for the rate to change. So you'll see things that they signed a Siemens contract. That's what the title says, but that's not what the body of the text says. So you have to look beneath those, which is what I do. That's why you should subscribe and tap the bell. And then there was Iraq signed with a Spanish company to grow olives in Wasit. That's huge that they're going to do that. But again, that was an agreement, not a contract. Also, the Central Bank of Iraq issued new regs for electronic payment providers, but it was only in Arabic. I only got that they did it. I couldn't read it because I clicked on it. So I talked about that this morning. Our guys hopefully will be live on tonight so we can celebrate their safe homecoming. So grateful they're home. Back at their base anyway. They're not home, so they're still sacrificing. So if you love the military like I do, because my brother and my dad both served, please comment down below that you love the military and you're praying for them. Saudi Arabia is building a silica-based industrial complex in Anbar. That was important business. Again, agreements, not contract. If it was contracts, I'd let you know. It's not a contract, but they're planning on doing it. And then there was another article about the Siemens thing, which I've explained. It's not. But the biggest news, probably the biggest news coming out of my intel source, was there was advanced talks on a $17 billion, what do they call it? Has confirmed in advanced negotiations, so they haven't gotten there yet to the table, but with Iraq's National Investment Commission to develop a large-scale mixed-use project southwest of Baghdad. What it is it's kind of like a smart city, if you know what those are, 15-minute cities. It says the project is replicating TMG, that's the company. It's $17 billion project. The company says the project aims to replicate TMG's integrated city model successfully implemented in Egypt and Saudi Arabia, incorporating sustainability, smart technologies, and comprehensive infrastructure. So it's kind of like a mini smart city south of Baghdad. Well, not mini. It's a $17 billion mega project just south of Baghdad with TMG. Evidently, they've done this in Saudi Arabia and Egypt before. So they're building a smart city just south of Baghdad, which was big news. What do you think about that? Comment down below. People could have various things about that. Also, they're, of course, doing another article on the unifying efforts to ensure a better future for Iraq. They're trying to present a unified Iraq. And guys, with these systems are the key to everything. The banking systems, the digital banking systems that includes, it's not just a banking system. It is an AI system, and it includes biometric voting, cheek swabs when they did the census so they know who everybody is, and a really, really secure border and ports. And so that's why everything's being done in Iraq, and we think Iraq is poised to revalue. And then if we go to the other summary, because I'm 4 minutes in, Mark Z says, somebody asked a question, Mark, have you lost enthusiasm that this will go soon? Mark Z said, absolutely not. I'm still full of enthusiasm. I do not know the exact time, but everything happening points that it will be soon. I agree with you, Mark. And then there's a guest, boots on the ground, saying 1310 is the CBI's official rate. What do you think? That is the official rate internationally, is the 1310, or the 0.00762 every US dollar, but that's not where it's going to maintain. So I wouldn't listen to anybody that says that this isn't going to revalue, because I believe it is. Claire says, article, government advisor linking national banks with their American counterparts provides a means for economic stability. Quote, Salih confirmed on Wednesday the Central Bank of Iraq's efforts to link national banks with major banks and financial institutions in the United States with more than one bank that enjoys international standing is an important means of providing economic stability and improving the investment, trade, and development climate in our country. That article is just verifying everything that my intel sources on the ground have told us, and that I've been saying, that it's all in the central bank's hands, the Central Bank of Iraq and all their correspondent banks. That's how they're shutting off the money laundering. They're shutting off all that crazy speculating, and it's illegal to have dollars on the streets in Iraq still. So hang on to your hats. This is about to revalue. Soudani's been saying that to himself, to his people. A militiaman says, what if they tell you it's going tomorrow? Militiaman goes, if you knew that and you could still buy currency, you could front run. Markets don't work that way. That's why they're not going to say it. I'm glad Militiaman said it that way, and I'm glad he was asked that question. And I'm really glad that I did a short warning you about AI channels saying it's going to happen tomorrow and at what rate. They're saying 5 something for the Dinar and 4 something for the Vietnam Dong. That is just to get clicks, guys. Those are AI channels. They're using AI to scour the internet and get the information. You should stick to human-based channels. Even YouTube says that. They're looking for people with experience. That's the #1 quality of a YouTube creator that YouTube is going to support. It's not the AI channels. They're not happy about it, and especially when it comes to finances and things like this that are very speculative. I've been in this 13 years. This is not financial advice. I'm just keeping you advised of the progress, and nobody has said what the rate is or that it's going to be tomorrow. That would be a lie from the pit of hell, so don't believe it. So Frank 26 says, they're telling us they're opening a new bank in America. Frank says, my friend, Walking Stick, has a friend in Michigan that has control of one of those banks. Firefly said, the TV just said that we're opening the bank in the U.S., so that one there must be the one in Michigan that your friend has. Frank said, I'm not sure. The CBI will have many of these private banks around the world. I agree, Frank. They could have... Guys, we have to wait for it to roll out. We don't know until it's done, right? He says... The CBI will have many of these private banks around the world. Soon the CBI will release a long list of these banks where Iraqi citizens or anyone who has 30 notes can go and exchange their currency. The one in Michigan is being controlled by a friend whose name is Aki. And that's one of his intel sources, and that's why he's a good person to listen to. Mountain Goat says, Iraq is excited, and so should you be. The Dinar situation can change very suddenly once the right policies are effective. I don't think it has. I think they've done everything they need to do. They've crossed the I's, they've dotted the T's. They're waiting on something, and I think it's most likely the correspondent banks in all the other countries. Before they can allow it to be released publicly, they need to make sure those banks are on their system. I'm telling you, that's exactly what's going on. The process is not going to take months or years. No, it's not. Bruce said the latest information that we're getting from 3 or more different sources is saying it looks like we're starting exchanges on Thursday or the 1st of May. That's today, of course. And then Sandy Ingram said, Hussein stressed that the current level 4 do not travel advisory is hurting Iraq's chances of attracting American business and investment. He explained Iraq's situation has improved significantly, and continuing to label Iraq as highly dangerous just doesn't reflect the new reality on the ground anymore. I agree. I don't know what she's referring to, but I don't think it holds any weight. Iraq has proved they're secure and stable. Everybody said it. They're traveling. There's daily flights going back and forth into Iraq all the time. They're even investing in more airports. So what more do you need to know that they are going to be a globally recognized country and very safe and stable? That's why everybody's investing in Iraq. So guys, that's what I have for you today. And other than just don't listen to the AI channels, there's going to be a lot of clickbait channels that it's happening to this and this is the rate. Everybody wants to know when and what's the rate. But guys, if they're clickbait channels, you're wasting your time. So I would say stick with channels like mine, Mark Z, Frank 26. Those are the YouTubers. And then there's other intel sources. I think Bruce's big call is on Tuesday and Thursday nights. You can find out information that. You probably Google that and find that. And the same thing with TNT and Tony, and they're on X. I know you can follow them there and get on their conference calls. I think they're a subscription base, however. Also, they did, I think, stop their subscriptions and made it all zero. So that was a sign that it might be really close. So guys, everybody thinks this is very close. And that reminds me, one more guy that I trust sends me details. Let's see if I can find it. Yep, here it is. This is their latest update. It's from the TNT folks. According to our nation's leaders history team, part of the RV and various three-letter agencies, they are now all saying that it is now ready to finally go through with the exchange part of the RV. They have set a time for tonight to be released between 9 and 12 a.m., could run over to 1 p.m. They want all the banks open at the same time, so it will be 8 and 1, depending on your time zone. A release, 9 a.m. West Coast would be noon on East Coast time. The 800 numbers will come out at the same time. We still think we should all use the 800 numbers. That's their impression. I give you pinned comment down below. Use the 800 numbers as they think it will help with the higher rates and possibly with the tax that could be assessed. So far, there's not been any tax assessed against the money we receive from the exchange, but the U.S. is looking at changing the taxation of U.S. citizens. The 800 number is coming from the U.S. Treasury, and there has been no talk about any taxes. Rates are the same or a little higher than the last week's reports. Iranian Rial is said to be coming in around 340. Dong is over $3, and a higher rate is able to negotiate up. We will send what we can when it comes. So, guys, that's intel source from one of my dear friends. And so, what do you think? Comment down below. I'm going to get some more sun before our 5:30. So I hope you will join us 5:30 live where we do free question and answer sessions. And I'll see you then. Bye.